I just got it. I'm going to just record it to the cloud, and then we can decide to use it or not.
Oh, okay.
It'll
So
be
yeah,
it'll be in the Zoom account.
okay. So the deciding when to do, how to incentivize, or how to pay, all these fancy words for give out some value money. And we're working with this idea of Dan. He's given us a good example. He's a community member, not new, somewhere in the Fibonacci.
He's a trusted community member. Like if he asked for 100 ADA and 1,000 gimbals to do this mural board, or he set a price on it, I would say, yes, Dan, I trust that you're going to do this. I would have no problem in that case. If it's somebody brand new wanting to do something, and then they asked for 3,000 ADA and 2,500 gimbals, then it would be like, okay, let's start smaller here. We can do the gimbals and a small amount of ADA. Let's see what you've got. And then figure out something that works for both parties, rather than just say, no, that's too much. But come back and say, okay.
Right. So a kind of a negotiation, finding win-win.
And it's like a reputation also plays a role.
And Dan has as far as I understand, Dan has a very good reputation. Cross Project Catalyst. Yeah.
Right. And so with, folks with trusted community members then can start to work for our ADA. Newer folks might, like lower gimbals and/or lower amounts of ADA, meaning that we can't. I think here, and you can tell me if I'm on the mark, but I can sort of guess that we really can't compensate an hourly rate for professional. So I'm assuming like a new member comes on, is like, oh, I do visualizations for a living, and it costs $3,000 for me to do this visualization. And then they're saying, so if you want me to do that visualization, then give me $3,000, US, whatever. Give me more than what we can pay. And that's not really what I'm assuming that that's not really what this compensation is for. It's both basically just to offset and motivate, because there's so many opportunities. And so it's like, so it's basically like a stipend, not an hourly rate. And so
the other thing is that, it's volunteer to a big point. There's this fine line between volunteering and being recognized for your work, and it being your work being traded for money or something else. So I don't know what works. I think it has to be person to person what the person wants. If this person comes along and they're a professional, say, hey man, I can do this for you and it's going to cost this much. Say, well, we can, negotiate on that, right? Because it could get done. An event planner coming in, Conma, for example, coming in and saying, hey, we can host an event on Conmaverse and we've got everything going on. We need a, donation of this much money or ADA, then we consider it, right?
Right.
Andre, do you have something?
I think yes. Yeah, that's a good point. We're gonna have to think like it's gonna have to be a hybrid, maybe. We're gonna have to accommodate different ways, different people.
And then there's people like I think about people like myself that have come in and learned things as I go. It's like, okay, we're using Google Docs, we're using Zoom. How do I use it? I'm really willing to learn it. And if I could be incentivized to do, these tasks, like writing the report or formatting the the slides, Newman, or adding other information in the list, if there was those kind of tasks, then it's like, oh, I want to learn how to do this. And then that's gimbals. And then you become more skilled, you learn a skill, you become more skilled, you become recognized in the community, your work, your volunteering is being, it's not lost.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways.
So I love the recognition of gimbals is nice. It is nice to get small amounts of ADA. Simply because
you need ADA with the gimbals, period, because of transaction fees.
Right.
If we're giving away gimbals and it's going to cost people more to use them, there should be some sort of small amount of ADA going with gimbals, and that would be on a monthly basis or whatever, right?
Right. And Andre, are we, I mean, are there, is that, because that seems like in your spot, are you feel okay about making these transactions? I mean, it seems like we've got some transactions to give out now. Is now the time to plan or organize those things?
But maybe do it on the end of the month, or some convenient time to do lump sums.
Yes. What we usually do every Monday, we do transactions for Swarm if it's bulk transactions. So then we pay like Swarm meeting attendance, lots of other meeting attendance, whatever happened in the week, and people got paid in gimbals. We pay them on the Monday. But if it's not a lot, like there's another project that's also just they have meetings on Mondays, but it's not a lot. So we decided, okay, we're going to pay them end of the month rather, because it's going to be too much ADA if we pay every week. So it depends on what you guys are comfortable with. If end of the month works better for you, then we do it that way.
We've talked about, monthly is what we've talked about. Yeah,
because so far the only bounties are for participation, Newman, or is there other ones?
There's a few other ones, but it's not, it's nothing on the scale of Swarm, which is sort of, they've also got the Catalyst School involved as well. So yeah, I think monthly things, but they're now we switched over from like more conceptual to more concrete. Like, is there anything that you need, Andre, from us in order to facilitate that practice? Is what we've got going on the Discord, I mean the DeWork?
I've actually already set up the Discord, so Nori gave me access. So I already made a transaction channel. So once we do transactions, it will automatically send messages so the community can see whatever comes in and goes out. What I need, what we need, I don't know, we need to discuss this maybe on Tuesday, is the wallets. If we do the double wallet thing, it's going to be double the work. So it's a little bit of a pain.
You mean from a C4C wallet sending you gimbals and then back and forth? And that, I don't, it may not be too bad, just because it can be a big lump sum, right? We do that not each month. We wouldn't do it month. Oh, Andre needs 33 ADA and 722 gimbals. Let's send him that. We would do some sort of a bigger one, I think.
Those are fine, because we have a bulk wallet. So that would be normal. You guys just send to that bulk wallet and we do the transaction immediately. So that is fine. But for like loose bounties, if there's like one bounty that's 50 ADA and 50 gimbals, you get gimbal. I don't know how your bounties look, but if there's bounties that's 50 just like a single bounty, like there's reports. What are the ADA amounts on this reports?
So they were 50, it was 50 ADA and 50 gimbals.
Yes, like those we can do when it's done. You know, we don't have to wait till end of the month. So when the guy, whoever did the bounty, we can pay him immediately. But for those, it would be better if we can, but it's gonna be a pain if you send to a wallet and then send. You know, it's better if we have the wallet, then we just pay the guy immediately. It's much quicker.
Oh, is that better? Is that a better workflow for you? It's just when there's,
yes.
and what's the threshold? Is it like over 10? Is it, what makes the 50/50 gimbal ADA?
Any bounty that's if it's, you need at least 1.35 to send gimbals, 1.35 ADA. So any bounties that are just gimbals, we accumulate them, send them end of the month. But as soon as you have a bounty that's more than 10 ADA, or as soon as you got, let's say more than 10 ADA, then we can pay them immediately. It doesn't really make a difference if we include those.
So
with the,
each one, if we had 10 ADA bounties, so it's going to cost us 10 ADA. It's going to cost us 10 ADA in the end. So maybe we have to figure out that threshold that, and then when you say you need the wallet, are you talking about the C4C wallet, like access to the C4C wallet? Is that what you mean?
Yes,
and
just
then,
to make the process easier.
And in
we can do it that other way, but it's double the work.
And in saying that now, you know, we have wallets set up for each proposal that we were funded for. So now these bounties, where is this coming out of? Which wallet, which proposal are we paying them out of? So it does definitely get much more complicated. So at this point in time, Nori and I have access to the wallets, the Cardano4Climate wallet. Let's talk about it on Tuesday about access in this. It feels a little scary.
I know. Yes,
from maybe too many movies or, you know, history, accountants coming in and nickel and diming and that's not the case in this case, but it's also setting the example of how it works for other communities. How is the best way to access this? So
we can experiment. We can experiment. There is I can set it up and we can experiment with this. Yeah, you get a wallet. It's ADAO made this wallet. So what happens is, if you enter these wallets in the same order, it creates a new wallet. You don't need seed phrases or anything. So what happens if you put money in this wallet, you can't do a transaction unless all the other wallets sign. So if we make a transaction, I would like contact you or Nori and say, please sign this transaction. Then it will send the money.
Is
Otherwise,
that called?
It won't send it. Everyone needs to.
Is that called Roundtable?
It's called Roundtable.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes.
Oh,
so we can set up something like that.
Yeah.
That would be, I think that would definitely, because we are in the proposals, you know, we have one called Community Collaboration Standards. And, you know, that's the idea, is that we are building out and experimenting and then sharing with the greater community. And part of that is using the community tools that are out there as use cases, which is really what the gimbal tokens is. So if I mean, that would be something we could put in the report, that we are using, you know, another partnership, ADAO, and we could, and Tom, I know over at ADAO would be happy to come and explain it and sort of like, here's some DAO tooling that we can use, and et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, let's bring that up on Tuesday. I'd love to. That would be if it makes sense. Like, you know, it's not like to shoehorn it in or anything.
I
but
can set it up so long. You know, maybe I can set it up the weekend. What I'll do is I'll take maybe one of the Fund 7 wallets, or where do you think you guys are going to pay from first?
Newman probably has a better idea with the reports. Like,
so yeah,
where bounties would come out of.
there's one. I can show you that well, hold on. Well, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up, because the way we set up Discord or DeWork is by proposal, and most of the for instance, the participation is
Events.
Pardon?
That's out of the events one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the onboarding through events. The reports one is C4C coordination, which is a space. Okay, maybe I'm
actually it doesn't. We can decide that later. What we need to decide now is which wallets do you want to use to sign the transactions. So
I see.
Who's going to do the signing there?
So yeah, so with Nori on holidays, that makes it a bit of a challenge.
Is there someone else that can also sign?
Yoram's going on holidays as well. No, that won't be in there. I think it's only on my desktop.
I think
so let's work towards getting something done for the end of this month, right?
Yes.
We'll figure out some sort of accounting, the ADAO. If I'm thinking Wednesday, even if ADAO could come and explain what we're doing, and we can flesh out more of our accounting. Newman, would that work?
Oh, I could definitely invite him.
Yeah. See if it would work, because then it's like we can talk about it on the Tuesday meeting, and set it up that we also have a community end of it where we explain what we're doing to the community and how ADAO will work. Because to me, you know, ADAO is what you would want to have if you've got a DAO, period. And maybe people don't know about this, you know, the multiple signing and the accounting end of stuff. So I think it'd be very helpful to have for the community.
Yeah, you know, and that would be a great question to ask. That's like a full on like this is a use case, because you're right. It's just like, well, I don't have a DAO. I'm not, you know, what is a DAO? But if you just have a community wallet, or if you have community funds and you have to distribute to community members, then de facto you have this, you know, if you're working in Web3, et cetera, and really what we're asking him is like, why is this better? You know, and we aren't technical, you know, we kind of can be the non-technical type to do. Yeah. I think
three people on a proposal. It's not a DAO, but you've got 3 people on a proposal. How do you keep the peace?
Trust. Yeah. It solves the trust issue. So you can trust other people.
And we talk about transparency and traceability. So this is it. So, and then we can learn, as we learn, we can share it with our community too. We can get wiser, just slightly faster ahead of the rest of the group. But yeah, having that in here would be amazing.
Ooh, I think so. Hey, celebrate. Ooh, I'm getting on the camera. I'm getting on the camera because I love getting on the camera. Look.
Yay! We figured something out. We're
calling that a win. Calling that a win.
It's too bad that Robert wasn't here, because when he came to the meetup on Wednesday, and it was like, wow, what a cool community system that you've got going. It's a Web2, and he's trying to figure out how to connect it to the Web3. Because when you think about all these transactions we're doing, Web2, we can't we don't, the little bits we have to figure out offline, off chain.
Right.
And then, you know, at some point there's this traceability when it comes on chain. But having Robert there, maybe his perspective of the Web2 part would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
We need
for
to figure
sure.
that out. Like, how do you sort this all out on an Excel sheet, or have you got that sorted out, Andre? What are you guys doing?
No, it's a experiment. A
Okay,
lot of these
good.
projects are, all of these projects are different from each other. So some of them are easy, you know, we go to one meeting, well, we go to a meeting every week, but when the funds, we already know what we're going to pay when the funds come in. That's how some of the projects. Other projects, it's, you have to figure out a lot of stuff.
Like
And
ours.
you have to keep track on, you have different kinds of spreadsheets for this project and for that project. I have different.
Well, this would
Spreadsheets.
actually be really helpful as well. You know, how do
Yes.
you make the accounting end of Project Catalyst and proposing work? You know, it's a big chunk of when you propose, you want to get this sorted out. And then we're trying to marry this accounting with blockchain and transactions and traceability. How do we do that? This is another huge piece. I'm thinking education as well. So
Yes, yes.
So allow me to sort of like go up the because one of the things that's resonated with me is that, you know, to make sense of the sense making part of C4C and Catalyst in general, C4C supports Catalyst members at each phase of Catalyst. And this phase is something that we often don't get to. It's the funded proposer phase, right? And so
even pre-funding, setting it up properly.
Because nach dem Spiel ist vor dem Spiel. Nach dem Spiel ist vor dem Spiel. It's a great poem from, I think it might be me. I might be making it up. But after the game is before the game. After the game is before the game. Meaning that you're never not training and you always are preparing for the next iteration. It's a real iterative thing, which is a web, you know, I got to know in the Web 2.0 thing, you know, the fail faster type of model. So I think that this is something that we've just come to. We've discovered a whole nother layer where we can support that we need support, and thus therefore our
might be one or two other proposals that do too as well, right?
Probably not just us. Probably not just us.
Yes. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Well, that interface between the two is absolutely crucial. So yeah, we figure it out being funded. You know, now that we're funded, we're coming across these things, these challenges that we have, and this is how we're going to figure it out with Andre, the Treasury Guild's help, and then we're going to move on to helping proposers when they start writing their proposals to set it up to begin with. You know, we
Yes.
already know how to do this. The accounting bit, we are going to get this done, no problem. It's not going to be an issue.
Okay, yeah. And what we can do, because this whole idea that you mentioned earlier, Melanie, is that we learn together, we learn as a community together. We can ask our funded proposers, C4C, you know, funded proposers, people on our list that were funded and are still connected. And I'm thinking of Little Fish, Open Little Map, you know, all the people that have come through, and it's just like, hey, can you feed back to us how you're doing Treasury?
Yeah.
And then actually that would be a great, going back down, like that would be a great list. And it's really, okay, it's clicking, because it's really the onboarding your chain event, onboarding your impact, on-chaining your impact event, that first bringing in people, like that. One of the facets of that is older funded proposers feedback and give to the new ones coming in. And that can be one of the things. It's just like, okay, first you've got to write a proposal, and then you have to promote it, and then you do the funding, and you do the reporting, and then you do the accounting and the operations. Like at each of these phases, it's important to feed back. There are learnings, there are pitfalls that you come across, and that it's important. And we can iterate faster, fail faster. Beautiful.
The accounting should be set up before though, because imagine getting to the funding like we have, and then all of a sudden not having anything set up for it. And it's like, so, it's like, we know that, okay, you're going to get voted in, you're going to get funded, now what? I think that the Project Catalyst helps. I haven't been to the meetings for funded proposers. Anybody? Andre, you must have. How is that?
I haven't gone lately.
Is it helpful? Like, I'm thinking about a new proposer here that gets funded. Are they, because this is going to be their success too, right?
You connect they help you connect at those meetings.
Yeah.
That's what I remember the last time.
There was somebody, was it Lynn? There was somebody that had, that was like, it was a proposer, a proposal that was about like setting up legal contracts and team agreements. It was like teaming agreements. And it was, you could feel that it was exactly, do you remember it, Andre?
Yes. Len. It was that Len guy. Len.
Yeah. I just reconnected with him, and I guess this is recorded, but he just fought with Dimitri, and I was like, that's what I assumed that he was about. And I was just like, Dimitri's my friend. I don't know this guy, Lynn. And I was like, why are they tangling? You're just baiting Dimitri. It's just like, come on, just lay off of it. But actually, Lynn is very astute. I mean, I think that's why they battle, because they're both such like, capital giants.
They're very genius. They're two geniuses.
They're two geniuses battling out. I'm just like,
strong opinions.
Yeah, totally.
Right. And that's going to bring out something amazing. It's going to bring out a lot of manure too.
Anyway, he's addressed this problem. So this might be a new, I feel like it's kind of a new thing. I mean, it's a new thing, but I think it fits and aligns. I'm not opposed to new things, but I like it when the puzzle pieces, and you've got the, you see
it's new to you, but it's a part of the puzzle.
Yeah,
it's been there all along. It's there.
Yeah. Right. So we get a bigger picture of what's going on, and we're like, okay, because that's one of the things. And I don't know, hey, do you guys, so this is a rule in jigsaw puzzles. When you do a jigsaw puzzle, do you look at the picture?
No, it's not a rule. That's I don't know if it's a rule or not. And that's a kind of thing, because this is something, it's like playing solitaire. Who made those rules? Who told you that you can't look at the picture, or that you can look at the picture, or that you should, or that you should start with the edge pieces, or you should sort it this way? Who made these rules? Right? So to me, we get fed this thought that there's a rule.
More of a choice.
And then we have to break free from that. I really believe we have to start challenging that thought that this is a rule. I do them both, Newman. I do them both, with looking at the picture and without. So I'll start it without looking at the picture. And then eventually, if I get stuck, I'll go and look at which feels, if you think about it, it's a cheat. Because in our life, in our situation where we're trying to figure it out, we don't see that picture. We don't have that box to turn around and say, hey, oh, that's where the piece goes. So we have to rely on not looking at the bigger picture. We might be able to see sort of a foggy one if we get together with more people. Yeah, the picture that we create, we don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah,
Maybe somebody does, but we don't.
let's find that person. No. I think it's Andre. I think it's Andre.
That
I think
could
it's
be.
Andre.
Well, see, Andre
Oh, it's
will
Andre.
focus
Come on.
on, he will focus on the green pieces or the ADA colored pieces or the,
Yes, I'm focusing on
you
the
know,
green
this
piece.
is it. And I'm going to focus on the pieces that connect, that look like they fit together regardless of color,
Yeah.
right?
I like the idea. I mean, I'm permissive. Like I'm expansive. That's my intention. And so like rules are a thing. So I'm like, if there are rules, and I look for rules, I try to follow rules. Let's just make better rules. Let's make creative rules. For instance, to use this jigsaw puzzle analogy, you can only look at it for like 5 seconds, or you record how long you look at it, or you look at it with one eye, or you look at it upside down, or
Yeah.
you look at it, you look at it from 5 feet away, or, like, let's like, look, that like expansive, creative, happy thinking, as opposed to, it's very much in tune, with these, building a new model, building a new way of doing things. And we find like what we've carried along with us into this new way. And it's sort of, it's, how does it go? New wine and old wineskins, It's just like, hey, the wineskin can be totally different. We can cut up the wineskin and make it into something else. We could, build the wineskin out of, polypropylene plastic, or we can do this different stuff, that I think is really happy making. Just that the idea that, yeah, we can make it like we like it.
I think it's
Yes.
interesting to recognize the rules that stop us, though. Like if we get stuck. My experiment with solitaire has been kind of interesting, because the probability of you winning a game of solitaire is very, very low. And it's just based on how the deck comes out. If you're ultra intelligent and you can count cards and know where everything is and calculate what's in there, that's a different story, but you're kind of ahead of the game to begin with. But in general, it's not set up to succeed. What if we were allowed to change the rules so that we did succeed? And maybe we don't succeed all the time. We challenge ourselves at some time so you don't get lazy. But I've come up with a whole bunch of different rules. And then with these big rules, it's sort of like, well, these ones, I can narrow it down to just a few now, that seem to work. But there is also this placeholder that says there is a new rule. I don't know what it is yet as such. So mine might be that, when you put your cards up on the ace 2 3 in the right set, you can skip a card. So you turn it sideways and you skip it. And when you come to that card, it gets tossed out. Maybe you count it or something. You can flip the deck, like normally if you do 3 down, you can't change the order of those. So I flip the deck.
Yeah.
I add another so that I can go through the whole deck. If I've got all my spaces up, and I've got a king, I can put him in a new space. I can also put a queen in a space because she's a widow.
Right.
Or she's an independent woman. She doesn't need a king.
You've gone deep. You've gone deep with solitaire.
Right. But see that you challenge the rules that we think, you can only put a king on an open space. Bullshit. You can actually, sorry, excuse that, it's recorded. You can put a jack on there too, because he's a bachelor, or he's just set out on his own, whatever. It's just, if you get creative with these things, you can end up with all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, I have a whole bunch of things that I've come up with, but it allows you to open up to work towards success, not staying in this box. It says, somebody else has told me how this works. This is all I can do. I want to be able to succeed. And how do I do that? So
yeah, literal game changer, very, very real.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is. So, and it doesn't hurt anybody, because Nori had brought that up. He says, well, solitaire is just a solitary game. And it's like, I'm not hurting anybody by changing these rules, right? It's different when you're in a community and there's, you know, like laws that keep people safe on the road. Those rules are different, right? Right?
Yeah.
Seat belts,
Yeah.
speed limits, you
Oh,
know,
man.
things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm not talking
Well,
about those. but-
I'm mindful of the time. We're at the top of the
Yes.
hour. Yep.
So so the game plan is setting something up this to at least start shifting some ADA and gimbals by the end of the month. Finding out about ADAO. We have to reach out to Nori as well to figure out the wallet stuff and bring somebody else on board with this. Because yeah, since that was we got funded in Fund 7 for a couple things, and we've got Fund 8 funding, which is more than I can handle too. So, but
I think
Okay.
the easiest, just quickly to add to that point, is the easiest would be we set up this ADAO wallet, and end of the month when we do payments, we could send some amount to this wallet per month. We can pay bounties, you guys sign it off. So all the wallets would feed into this one wallet. We
that's
do
good. And
payments out
it's
of this.
yeah, and it's good because because then the accounting of where it came out of, what proposal it came out, is our responsibility. More so
We
than
will still
yours.
record that. Yeah.
Oh, you'll still record it. Yeah. Okay. So this
Yes,
is
yes.
also the part of it that goes, okay, if we send you a lump sum from events planning and the funding goes towards
Yes.
whatever else we got funded for, then it's a little bit confusing. Yeah, it almost feels like it has to all go in the same pot, but
Well, that's something to determine, like how, like where, you know, but I think what I'm hearing is that it's easier, or it works out better to go into this central Roundtable wallet using the ADAO tool and then distribute it from there, as opposed to each individual wallet and then, you know, like trying to go, because
yeah. So what
the
happens if we have
workflow.
a fund of say 500 ADA for participation for this one proposal, and all of a sudden, if we put it in that big pot and we've got all this participation, I mean, all of a sudden we've spent 750. Where's the other 250 coming out of, even though it's coming out of the big pot, right? So I'm just wondering how we keep track of what we've said is the budget and what we're actually spending. It's part of resources, right?
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. We're gonna have to think about that.
Sorry, it gets complicated, but this is the other thing. And this is the cool thing about having more people to sign, because if you look at a transaction, you can look at it and goes, oh, hang on a second, we've got this, you know, right, or something's missing from this perspective. So definitely good to have multiple eyeballs on that one.
Yes.
Okay, so meeting Tuesday, we need to set up definitely a space for accounting moving forward with this.
Are we gonna meet an hour before, like we said we might do it?
Ooh, see, now that's a problem because Conma pitch ground is on
Oh,
at
is that-
7. And we
and-
were supposed to meet an hour early, weren't we?
Or we can do an hour after.
And an hour after is Gimbal.
Oh,
Labs.
yes.
And also Conmaverse. So
Ours,
Next Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah, Conmaverse is the hour before, but we do, is there
We can
something
do it
hour after? Oh, maybe not.
The gimbals.
do you guys want to meet the hour before? I just won't be part of it, but like
Yeah, as long as we've got some people at the Conma ground for that Tuesday, and you know, we could pop in and out. I think it's pretty open because they're just going to be pitching. You can kind of come and go. And I don't know how long is the Conmaverse? It starts at 1400 UTC. And there's no big deal. It's no big deal. We can work it out.
I thought it was an hour and a half per day.
Okay.
It could be 2.5 though. I'm not sure now. I'll have to go back in Telegram to figure that
Yeah,
out.
no worries, no worries.
Wednesday? Can we try Wednesday?
Wednesday is also Conmaverse goes until Wednesday. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wednesday is also
Before
Conmaverse, so
or
isn't it
after
26?
No, I think Conmaverse stops on the 26th.
So we could go an hour before the meetup if we've got the meetup all planned, because otherwise what we're doing lately is planning the meetup the hour before the meetup.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yes.
That might motivate us to get it before.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's going to be pretty hard because Tuesday meeting, the plan is to get it organized and then it never happens. So so
Yeah.
far.
Well, maybe we add that on. We just try to do that on events. If on Monday we just try to plan the meetup, the Wednesday meetup. Try to get it done
It's
then.
hard to do though. I realize that afterwards because what we determine on Tuesday
That's the
determines
thing,
what we choose for Wednesday, right?
Right.
So a little bit of it maybe does need to be organized the hour before. I don't know. So
What we could do is you know, did that event, we just get some of the technical things out of the way. Like we just get the stuff.
slide deck set up, the
Yeah.
agenda set up, you know, things like that. You could also on the event planning is have it all set up and then we confirm on Tuesday that, yeah, this looks really awesome. Oh, can we add this? That would be amazing, right? Because there's so much of it that gets repeated. We just copy the week before almost, and then we adjust it a little bit. So it's pretty much, maybe it could be done on Mondays, and then we just add more on Tuesdays. Yeah. So in that case, then we could meet the hour before Wednesday. Let's shoot for that. That would be
let's try it.
amazing.
Yeah,
That
that'd
would
be
be amazing. If it was done ahead of time, because that, yeah. So Wednesday at 1 hour before the meetup, we're going to talk
Yes.
accounting, straight accounting,
It sounds good.
and then maybe
I
the
will set up,
ADAO. Sorry,
I'm gonna experiment with that wallet this weekend
and then we can
Seeing if
take
the
that
internet
into
is
the
bad.
meeting. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we'll take that in, and then Newman, will you reach out to ADAO?
Yeah, I can
Wednesday?
do that. Yeah, I can do that.
I think that would work. Okay, we're good.
All right. All right.
Anything else that we're supposed to be doing? I do have to set my reminder though right now, because otherwise I will not remember for Wednesday morning.
I will remind on Monday as well. I'll just remind in Telegram.
Perfect.
Cool.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you guys.
All right. Great
See you
meeting.
soon.
Thank you,
Enjoy
bud.
the rest of the day and the weekend.
weekend.
Sign up.
And then,
Sign up for Conma Pitch. I don't usually want to do anything during the week.
yeah,
But,
weekend. Yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording. Are you
And
sure?
what do you want to do with the recording? Would you like to get it over to YouTube?